Hello everyone. Hope everyone is doing well this beginning of this wonderful week. As you will see from my last vlog, it's much more calm down here on the beach. I had to open today on the beach because the last time I was down here on Friday, as you saw, the waves were crashing and the tide was well above where I'm sitting right now. But in typical New England fashion, it can be a raging storm or a quiet, calm afternoon. And today is a lovely, lovely autumn day. It's a tad warm for autumn for me. It's probably mid-70s Fahrenheit. And but still, it's a lovely sunny day and no breeze. So I think today, because it is October, and my two favorite seasons are spring and autumn, so I thought I just have to start doing some outdoor decorating. So I thought for today we could go do some fun outdoor decorating. Not on the seaside though. I've learned my lesson in that, at least. I have to do those sort of little cutesy things on the other side of our house that faces the wood and the road, not the sea, because between the animals and the wind, it doesn't last very long. Okay, so let's get started and let's head on over to I'm going to do a little arrangement in my little front shade garden where I have a little bench and a couple little urns. So let's start by picking some bittersweet and some wild grass to kind of spruce up my two urns full of ivy. All right, let's get started. Okay, we have our bittersweet, and this is the little area I'm going to do. We're right outside the hallway to my studio in the main part of the house, and this is a little spot near my shade garden that I like to sit. It's on the opposite of the ocean side, so it's much more calm here. We don't get as many winds, and the sun isn't as harsh here. And we have two urns, and then set this down. This is my plant stand, and in the summer I keep my houseplants out here, and I have just a few left that need to go back inside. We'll probably be okay for another few weeks, but I think I'll take them in now just to be on the safe side. So I thought we could add some things there, so with some pumpkins, and I thought I would sweep up a bit too, but then I thought, well, I like the autumn leaves, and these horrible oak leaves, they fall now and all the way into spring because the oaks hold them until spring, but when we get a heavy wind like we had the other day, they fall early. Basically, they fall from autumn all the way into spring. So since autumn is the look I'm going for, I'm going to keep it for now. When I do my winter setup though, I'll blow them into place and mulch over them. But for now it's autumn, so we want that fall look. Although I guess I could probably do the spot maybe just in front of the little stair there. So, well, it is October and it's a magic month. I guess I could grab my broom and get started. Well, that's good enough. I guess I'm done with this. Okay, so now I cut the bittersweet because I keep this ivy in here year round. Sometimes I'll put other plants in. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick any mums in here, but the bittersweet and the cut grass always looks really good, I think. So I'm just going to take some of my nemesis here and stick in the pots. You can see it. See how it curves around, even curves around itself. It's a little devil. Just kind of randomly placing it. This one has a nice curve. That'll look nice curving down like this. This has some beautiful set of berries in. So I'm not really fussing around a lot with it. I just want it to look very natural. And then just take two clusters. These are just various grasses that grow along our shore. I think it actually might be the type of grass that we actually have our lawn is made of, but I just let little tufts grow because it looks like grass I would buy at the garden center. So I'll just take a little tuft like this and just make a little spot in the soil. And this is really protected by our house, so I'm not worried about wind getting it here. And then another little cluster of cut grass here. Let's see, how does that look? See, those already look better. Now, I guess we're gonna need let's do some pumpkins. So I'll get an assortment of pumpkins here. And let's just sort of place them around. I love these white ones. I just have one of these. These I purchased at our garden center, but I do have some smaller pumpkins that are still ripening in my garden. Let's do this. That. Maybe a bale of hay here or straw here with some decorative things. And then maybe I'll make a wreath here. And I think a wreath here would be really lovely. So I think that will make it look a little bit better. But I think overall it's not too bad. Let's, I moved these were last year's mums, and so I actually planted them into the terracotta because the terracotta looks so lovely this time of the year. And then I planted the other sad cabbage, which I think will come back now that the rabbits can leave it alone, in a brown pot. And then I took an upturned terracotta pot and put a pumpkin on top of that just to give it a little variety. So I think it's a good start, and it definitely feels like autumn. Well, I think that was fun for our planting bit, and I really did want a bit of an autumnal feeling. And I think I'm still going to add more things. Again, Floral Friday, having a wreath here and a wreath there. And maybe I'll do a straw bale somewhere. But it's nice just to get that. I mean, it's the beginning of October. It's nice to get that feeling. And I love decorating for the holidays. And this Halloween, Thanksgiving, autumnal into Christmas is just a lovely time. And with all that's been going on, it's good to do that. So, but why don't we have a little spot of tea. Let me order up tea. And let's have a cuppa and relax. Shall I be mother and pour out? It is fun to indulge ourselves in magic, especially in October. I'm having really a jolly time making videos, so such funny things are amusing to me. I'm not sure if they are to you, but I hope you enjoyed this bit of the video, and now we'll see what happens next. I think I want to share some drawing today, but I'm not certain, so that will happen at the editing desk. But for now, grab you a cup of tea and sit down and enjoy our lovely new autumnal arrangements. On to the rest of the video. Come on, don't just sit there. Let's go. Well, thank you for indulging me in my magic during the decorating. It's quite fun to do. Now, for today's walk, I thought we would go through our wood. So here's our wood. I call it the 1 acre wood, even though it's actually closer to 2 acres. And it's a dense bit of forest that we own across the little private road across from our house. So here, a little bit into the wood, you can see the paths are curving. Now we've just started to maintain this wood just by clearing out pathways, and you can sort of see how the paths meander through. We've tried to cut around. Right now they're lovingly littered with the autumnal leaves. Hopefully you're picking up the sun coming through. And the little bit of fence there is just the privacy, or the property line from our piece here to the neighbor's drive. They have a very long drive that leads back to their house. But you can see the size of some of these trees that have been cut here. Now this is a giant old pine that had to come down because it got damaged in a storm. But I hope one day to turn that into a Victorian stumpery. And if we follow this curve around here, you can see, since we've just kind of arbitrarily started choosing pathways, I'm not sure if you can see the path here, but maybe here, I'll walk through and then you can see me, how the path meanders. So there you can see how we come around, and it's early morning now, so usually we get more light shining through, but isn't it lovely to see the sun breaking through the trees. This is another little spot over here that I think if we clear it out, we could make a fun little hidey hole. And those are giant rhododendrons that were planted a long time ago, probably even before the house was built. So they're quite large. And we follow the path around, and we come to a wider opening. Now this area we have to keep more open because it has our power lines running through. And then as we come around this curve here, we come to one of my favorite bits, which is this amazing white pine. I call it the two sisters because it split its growing habit sometime a long time ago, and it's two separate branches, but to me it looks like two loving sisters embraced in some sort of dance. So what I would really love is for here, as we go around this tree, to place and eventually build a little bench to sit so we can see the wood and look back through all our little underplantings. I'd love to do English bluebells, things like that. But also, if you come over here, if you sit here, I'm not sure if it's picking up on the camera, but that's where we're walking. Through the tree opening there is Little Harbor, which is a saltwater inlet just left of our harbor that I kayak in, we walk through and such. So that's where I'd like to walk now. So let's walk down through our wood here. But look, isn't that lovely? Now see, I will sketch that because the drastic light and shadow is so beautiful. All right, let's continue on. So we're heading down through our wood, down through this path here. And you can see it opens up. Now once we get to the edge here, this is actually our neighbor's bit of land. It's their open field and they keep it cleared, but we all share each other's borders pretty openly here, and also many of the people who live here are only here a few months out of the year. I hope you can see, let me see if I can zoom in from here. That's where we're heading. So there you can see the view open up. Again, lovely for pastoral landscape painting. Of course, I'd put a figure and an animal in, as I always do. So let's walk down. Today we're at just a little above low tide, and of course when we get the flats this gets even more exposed. But now at this type of tide it's great for walking, because now were I to go this way, I can walk along this sandy path and go on and on along the waterway and through. There's all sorts of conservation lands that we all actually contribute our local area money to keep it up. And those funny plastic things with the cormorant. Oh, there goes a shorebird. These funny plastic things with the cormorant drawing his wings upon, those are oyster cages. And the local oyster fishermen seed those with young, free-flowing oyster seed, and then they attach to it, and that's how they grow oysters. They're unfortunately horribly ugly floating in there. And they didn't used to go out this far, but oyster farming has really grown over the past few years. But it's still lovely. If we come down here and look this way, you can see how it bends and turns. And then again, imagine yourself kayaking through here. And I will take you kayaking through here one time. And what's lovely, it's easy to kayak across and get out over there. And at the right tide, you can also swim in here too if you like, just for a more different type of swimming. And then if you come around this way, this direction here, if I were to walk this way, you will see that it will lead on along the edge of the point that I live on, and I can walk it all the way around back to our beach. So let's walk that way a little bit. I don't want this to be too long. I just wanted to share with you another bit of my walk. This is often my morning walk. And in the summer when it's warmer and I don't walk as much, this is my morning walk. I get up early and I can walk down here, walk along the point, and then back around to our house by the beach. And I will take you that way sometime, but for now, as I've done a lot in this video already, I'll just close out today's walk here. And yes, another little water seaside walk I love to take through our tiny little 1-acre wood. I guess we can end this video. I'm going to close today's video with 3 of my paintings in my Animals and Chair series, specifically Dogs and Chair series. As I wasn't able to capture any drawing for this video, I figured sharing some of my finished work would be okay. And in my last video, I shared a sketch I was working on for a piece that will be in a more traditional oil-painted style, while my Animals and Chair series, and these particularly are from my Dogs and Chair series, are done in a more illustrative pop art style. Again, I really love the use of color. Color to me is almost as if it's another character in a painting. But these 3 of many Animals and Chair paintings I've done, I thought were fun. The first one with the Italian Greyhound is actually from my own Italian Greyhound, dear sweet Sophie, who we lost a few years ago. And in the center, I love French Bulldogs, and I've done them quite a few times, but this little fellow I had to do standing on miniature furniture, as I love dollhouse furniture and miniature furniture, and I love the boldness of the French Bulldog, so I thought it was funny to have him standing boldly on small chairs. And then, of course, the traditional and classic and good old Golden Lab sitting faithfully in his master's chair with the tartan background. So these are just 3 of a variety of paintings. I did quite a few animals and chairs, and I just wanted to share those with you. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you on chats, and I will see you on the vlog on Wednesday, and thank you so much for those of you who stop by and spend the day with me. All right, remember to stay creative. Cheers! A poem by Mary Oliver. I am in love with ocean, lifting her thousands of white hats in the chop of the storm, or lying smooth and blue, the loveliest bed in the world. In the personal life, there is always grief more than enough, a heart load for each of us on the dusty road. I suppose there is a reason for this, so I will be patient, acquiescent, but I will live nowhere except here, by ocean, trusting equally in all the blast and welcome of her sourless, salt self.